Hello guys, so welcome back. So as you've seen from the thumbnail today, I've bought myself a little restoration project in the forms of a Honda C70 Crunch. So the reason I bought this really is because the weather over the winter is crap. I haven't got space to pull a car in anywhere to do any restoration work as such, because they take up so much room. So I've sort of been humming and hawing while I've been building this new workshop what to do, and as much as I'm not as interested in bikes as I am cars, obviously I've always wanted to strip down an engine completely and rebuild it. I've always wanted to do some panel bodywork on something and restore something back to its former glory. So that's why I bought this Honda Crunch, really, just to give me something to do over the winter. I'm not going to do anything else on my car, because I will. It's just not ideal at the moment because it's just been raining for the last God knows how many days, and it's easier to be in here in the warm and do what I'm going to be doing here. So this will be sort of a winter project, and obviously cars and stuff will be more in the summer. So the history of this bike. So I bought this bike a couple of days ago from a guy who's about 2 hours away from me, so I had to drive down and pick this up. The guy that I bought it off has had the bike for 2 years. He bought it for the exact same reasons I did, to restore it. So he got it off someone who does like house clearances and stuff. So I don't really know anything else about this bike at the moment, apart from this guy's had it for 2 years and he bought it off someone who does house clearance. So I've been trying to do some research to find out a bit more about the bike, but at the moment I'm sort of drawing a few blanks. All I've got to go on is there's no V5 for the bike and there's no registration plate on the bike, so I don't know them two things. But obviously what I do know is the engine number and the VIN number. So I've been trying to find out, do some search on the VIN number, but the HPI sites that I've seen or been looking into are all saying that the engine number's too short. So I think this is sort of a 1970s model. I'm not sure if it's an early or a late one. Everyone's been telling me different things, so I'm still yet to know exactly what year this was made. So I'm going to keep trying to find out. Obviously I want to get this registered once I've done. I've got loads of photos of it, that's how I picked that up, which I think I need. I have spoke to the DVLA and they've said I need to go to the owners club for them to tell me what reg it was on. I haven't yet contacted them, but I will be contacting them in the very near future to see if I can find out a bit more info. So, but anyway, in the meantime, let me flip round. I'll show you the camera, I'll show you the bike, and we'll go from there. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the footage of the bike. There you can see it's in a bit of a bad state at the moment. There's a fair bit of rust on the rear of the bike. I don't think the main front part of the frame is that bad, apart from surface rust, but obviously that time will tell. So obviously the bike is a non-runner, and as you also can see is that I've taken some parts off the bike already because I needed to find out why this bike was taken off the road originally. So I think originally the bike was taken off the road because it looks like the flywheel is, the dynamo flywheel has slipped on the crankshaft, which has resulted in obviously the timing not being able to be set properly. I'll give you a close-up of that in a minute and you'll see what I mean. So the groove on the crankshaft is you can see where the pin there's a pin that goes between the crank and the flywheel just to locate it in the exact position. That's now twisted and slipped. So I think the only really way I can fix this is to take the crankshaft out and replace it. I could probably weld the slot and then try and re-slot it, but the chances of that being in the right place are very slim with the technical knowledge I've got. So I'd rather, I wanted to strip the engine down anyway, so the objective was to whatever I got, I was going to take it to bits, strip, clean, rebuild the engine. So I'm going to have to do that with this anyway, so it's always going to be done. So I don't know what else I'm going to sort of find when I do this, but who knows, it's going to be a nice little project for me to take it to bits and see how we go from there. So the other bits that were missing with this was the leg shield, and all the lights off the rear end were missing, and there's a lens missing on the front little light, which I think I can pick up quite easily. Other than that, everything was here. The seats here, even though the seats in a bad condition, are still here, and I want to try and use as many of the original parts as possible. And I want to try and rebuild this as it would have come out of the factory. So whether I can find every single part that I need, I don't know. This is, someone's been tinkering with this obviously for years. I mean, this could be 50 years old. So I don't know. Some of the screws have been rounded off, so I'm going to have to drill some screws out, try and find some original screws or something that matches what was in there. It's going to be quite difficult to find the parts, I think, more than anything. Doing the work is relatively, say, straightforward. I'll obviously be learning as I go on the way. So anyway, that's my little project for the winter, which will run into the summer. I mean, I'm guessing this is going to probably take me over a year to do. I'm not that naive to think that I'm just going to get on and get it done in a couple of months. It's never going to happen. It's going to be, yeah, at least this time next year, if not longer, depending on the issues I find and whatnot. So I think the rust on the frame is, I don't think it's repairable. I think it's, you're going to have to replace something. You can get replacement rear panels for these. I've not looked into it enough to know whether that's advisable or to try and repair and keep as much of the original frame as possible. I mean, either way I can do both. So I don't know, let's see what happens with some info that hopefully might filter in from this. So if anyone knows anything, just please do just give me a shout, because any info would be much appreciated at this stage. So anyway, let's cut this now. I'm going to go and get set up ready so I can take the engine out. So in the next video you'll see me completely strip the engine out, take it to bits, and we'll see if I can get the crank out, which is the ultimate goal. So let's see what happens. See you in the next one.